Well, hi there, beach friends. We are going to finish the walk that we started last week. We started at a very tranquil, lovely beach morning, and then I went back for low tide the next day. So today we're going to be exploring low tide here on Fort Myers Beach, and there's so many fun things we're going to see. We're going to see this very active urchin. We're going to see this slurping Florida fighting conch. And it wouldn't be a trip to the beach if we didn't also look for a couple of seashells. Now, normally I'm dragging you to the beach first thing in the morning, but today we're going to enjoy a lovely sunset as we scour the beach for goodies to discover. So if you're ready to see what the beach has in store for us, let's go to the beach. So here we are at Fort Myers. We've actually already started our walk, some of the things we saw last week. But before we get into it, there's just a couple of things I wanted to address from last week's video. So I did have this mystery shell, and the comments section can be really, really helpful. Someone helped me identify this as a beautiful crassatella. So that is what that mystery shell is. It's another shell I can add to the repertoire. Hopefully I will find bunches of them now. And I wanted to show you this. So there was a little hermit crab that I was very enamored with. But as I was busy looking at the hermit crab here, I completely missed the Wentel trap right there. So thank you, eagle-eyed viewers. You guys are really great. I totally missed it, but hopefully not the next time. Now here we have a couple of prickly cockles. We have the Florida prickly cockle on the left and the yellow prickly cockle on the right. And what I just wanted to show you is how much more round, how much more circular the yellow prickly cockle is compared to the Florida prickly cockle. Now, it is very, very windy out, which makes the surface of the water a little bit hard to kind of see what's underneath, but we did spy. So this is a Florida fighting conch, and there is still the snail inside of it. So something like this is not something you are allowed to take from the beach. It will kill that critter, and that would be bad. So this little Florida fighting conch I picked up, and I'm just kind of waiting. I'm going to see if he's going to come out swinging, what he or she is going to do. And as I'm kind of waiting, it starts like slurping. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what? Did I just see what I think I saw? We got to see that again. So let's slow it down, zoom it in a little bit. Look, so that is its proboscis. So it's got like this trunk, and it is an algae eater. And so it's going to use that trunk to kind of like search out food. And when it finds algae on rocks or shells or on the sea floor, it's going to use that trunk to kind of, and that mouth to kind of scrape off the stuff. I had never seen that weird little mouth before. I thought that was fascinating. I've seen plenty of live ones, but seeing that little mouth, oh, that was cool. And I think it does have an eastern slipper snail, that white shell that's kind of adhered to the inside of the Florida fighting conch, which is a bit unfortunate, but I'm just going to leave well enough alone. And there that critter does it start doing its swinging thing. So the entire body is called the foot, and then it has that little sickle-shaped amber piece kind of sticking off the bottom there. It almost looks serrated. That is this animal's operculum. And I just think they're fabulous. Now, we'll use that foot to kind of right itself. If a wave has come along, kind of flopped it on its side, it's going to take that foot and just kind of flop itself over so it can start kind of moving about again. So that, my friends, is a live, very healthy Florida fighting conch. A slurping Florida fighting conch. I thought that was pretty awesome. So I think we've spent enough time with this little critter. We're going to go ahead and let them finish doing their thing and see what else we're going to find. Love seeing those big clouds. It is very, very windy out. And you can kind of see the waves breaking in the distance there because there's a big old sandbar out there. I don't know that we'll get there. We'll just have to see. Okay, this is another Florida fighting conch. This one is empty. perfectly safe to collect, and it is covered with that periostracum, and that's just a natural covering on some of the shells. Not this one. This is a disc Dosinia. There's another shell that looks just like this called an elegant Dosinia. I'm on the hunt for one of those. And I get excited, at least at this point, when at least there's something under the water there. And so I just kind of feel around and hope for the best. It's kind of like a mystery beach grab bag. And it looks like this mystery is a sunray Venus clam. Oh, look what we have here. So this is another Florida fighting conch, but this one has those white little squiggly things on it. Well, those are calcareous tube worms that were there at some point, have been deceased, and they have left these little trails on there. So I do see those from time to time. Just wanted to let you know if you find something like that, it's a calcareous tube worm left behind. So not too much on the beach here, but again, I'm not concerned. I'm kind of doing a little bit of, most of the time I'm spending in the water, and I stumbled upon this lovely, lovely short-spined sea urchin. Now these guys do collect shells that got little tube feet, and so they will cover themselves with shells as kind of like a camouflage. This particular one was so active. I have never seen like this. Like it's swimming the Olympic swimming race for urchins, or I don't know what, but it's moving a lot. So this one is very, very active. That little mouth in the middle, it is called the same thing as the mouth in the middle of a sand dollar. It is called Aristotle's lantern. There are 5 little grinding plates in there that kind of meet up. I thought that was really cool. I do get to see these often, but not quite as active as this particular sea urchin. So I thought that was kind of cool. See you later, buddy. Okay, what other kind of mystery thing do we have here? Oh, an angel wing. Oh, that is fantastic. It is a great size. It has that little scoop still intact. That's one of the other things we kind of look for with these shells. Does it have its little scoop? So that is a real pretty nice looking angel wing. Oh, and here we have a banded tulip. So it's quite possible at this point, I was probably just picking up all sorts of stuff I didn't want to show you. Surprise, something I do want to show you. So that is a banded tulip. Pretty cool find for here in Fort Myers. And another. Okay. This one's not in quite as good condition as the previous one, but still a very decent, absolute keeper of a shell. So that is a banded tulip. Another fighting conch. But what I want to show you about this guy is it felt very short to me. So the lip on it, so the outside, the edge of the shell we call the lip, and it was kind of thick on that guy versus this other one that's much taller. The lip on the taller Florida fighting conch was much thinner. So the way the brain works, you would think the taller it gets, the older it is, the more mature it is, the thicker that lip would be. Not on with these guys. So anyway, I found a short Florida fighting conch. And then just another one that helped me out with a demonstration about that lip. And what do we have here? So far be it for me to pass up a perfectly good cone here. Okay, so this is an alphabet cone. And it's not in great shape on that one side, but this side don't look too bad. So I'm definitely going to hold on to that alphabet cone. So this is another Florida fighting conch, and I just couldn't get over that gorgeous shine. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to clean that shell up. Stick with me to the very end. We're going to take another look at that shell all cleaned up. So it is a little bit unfortunate. The wind is good. It's kicking things up. That's good. It's kind of churning things around. However, it is kind of messing with the visibility. So yeah, I'm kind of picking up stuff. I don't know what it is. It's kind of, like I said, it's a mystery. Kind of pick it up, and what do we got here? Anything good? All right, we had a piece of something, a piece of a Florida fighting conch. Okay. This is a giant Atlantic cockle, and it looks like a drill of some sort. Is it here? There, I checked the other side. Did it make its way through? I don't know what it's doing. So I don't know. You got this maybe not so smart shell or snail kind of trying to drill through an empty shell. So I saw this fantastic lightning whelk. It is alive, but you know what? It also acted like a little bowl because there's a fish in there. Right there is a fish. And I was trying to kind of figure out what was going on. I didn't think that the lightning whelks had any kind of like symbiotic relationships with other sea creatures where they kind of like look out for each other. So it was just happenstance. I happened to grab this big live lightning whelk and there was a little fish in there. So that little fish is gonna, yep, go ahead, friend. Do your thing. There it is. Bloop, there it goes. So we got 2 live critters for the price of 1 stoop. So now I'm gonna walk this back into the water a little bit deeper. Gorgeous lightning whelk. So we're gonna put that friend back in the water. Let it stay here at the beach. It's kind of pretty. Got a couple of birds. Oh, look at that tide. So the tide is really going out. We're only at 0.39. The wind is still doing its thing. It's very, very windy. Oh, looks like this guy got displaced with the tide going out. I'm not entirely surprised. It's a little bit active. That's a little bit more of what I typically see with these urchins. You know, a little bit of action. That other one was really, really active. So that was kind of fun. Not that this guy isn't fun. Maybe just not as fun. So we'll leave him or her also here at the beach. Here's a rose petal talon, and it does have a little drill hole in it, so in case I was going to make some jewelry, it's pre-drilled. Now this weird thing, I typically call this beach brains because that's kind of what it looks like. So this is sea pork. Sometimes you'll also see sea liver, and they're tunicates. So this is part of an entire colony of tunicates that filter water. So these are good, help keep our water clean. This has probably died, broken off, and so just kind of starts floating around. But isn't that weird looking? And it's kind of hard, like a rubber eraser. It's got a real hard, a little bit, you know, it gives a little bit, but it's more of a hard creature. So I'm making my way down. Now you'll see the island across the water there. That is Lover's Key. So we're making our way to the very south end of Fort Myers Beach. Yep, I'm gonna take that. I'm collecting garbage these days, see how many pounds I can remove from the beach myself. Oh, last week I found an albino prickly cockle. This is a prickly cockle, but it's just a little bit on the light side. That is not albino. And oh, this was a lovely scene. Sun's going down, the birds are playing. Now this isn't beach time, but I'm going to be quiet for a minute and just let you enjoy this really pretty scene. I just thought that was beautiful. So this is one of those birds that we saw. This is a snowy egret. There was an ibis in there too, but I guess it went on its way. This is a southern quahog. Not terribly exciting, but just massive. And if I had a valid fishing license and that was alive, I would be able to take that. But I am not in the market for any kind of seafood. I'm just looking for seashells at this point. Okay, we got ourselves a little weirdo. So this is a juvenile Florida fighting conch, but it does not look right. I can just kind of tell it just looks weird. So this is what a typical juvenile Florida fighting conch would like. The spire, the top point is very kind of uniform. It kind of steps up in a uniform manner. That one on the left is the weirdo I was talking about. And it's just weird. Something probably happened to the animal, and so it just kind of grew weird. So I'm liking that little bit of a weirdo shell. So that is a little bit of a weirdo Florida fighting conch. Not a weirdo, just got some beach stuff on it. So that is a Florida cone. Always fun to find cones. I'm definitely holding on to that, and that white stuff will pop right off. Oh, no problem. That is a pear whelk with really great color. Typically, the base color of the pear whelk is a white. This one looks like it's kind of a gold color. Very cool. There you go. So that is what a typical pear whelk usually looks like. And it feels like things are starting to pick up. Man, tide's going out. Nice and windy. Lots of shells just kind of rolling in the surf here. See if we see anything exciting. Yeah. That is totally exciting. So that's a crown conch. A fantastic little find. It's really got great color. Ooh, happy with that. crown conch. Awesome. Okay, we have two more Florida fighting conchs. And strangely enough, so this is a Florida fighting conch. Someone asked me to compare this to the crowned conch. So the Florida fighting conchs get much bigger. They do not typically have that weird kind of stripe pattern like that. It's a little bit of an anomaly. The crown conchs are smaller, spikier. Not like this. This is another cone. This is an alphabet cone. And this is great, great find. I'm not seeing the letters. That's where this shell gets its name. But that's okay. Terrific find. This is a true tulip. It's a little bit beat up, but I have a very hard time finding them. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's a little beat up. It's got a little hole in it. Still happy with that true tulip. And that is a lace murex. And there was just something really beautiful about the way that this one was worn down. It just kind of reminded me of like a really comfy pair of like worn in jeans. I just thought there was something real pretty about that. Another banded tulip. What kind of shape's it in? Let's take a look. Oh, pretty good shape. Those are tough over here to find with its aperture intact, the opening. So that's a great find. So I'm starting to get pretty excited. All right, now it's starting to pick up. This is what low tide is about. It just kind of exposes more of the beach. I think the wind might be helping kind of kick things up. So just kind of walking along. All right, now there is another shell inside this, but that's fine. That is collectible. That is another banded tulip. Fantastic. Okay, that is a Florida cone. Lovely little cone. I do love cones. I keep almost all of them. Now this shot, I didn't know I was actually filming. That's why it looks a little bit wonky. And I kept it anyway because this weird thing kind of rolled up at my feet and I pick it up. I'm like, no way. That is a live angel wing. So I had never seen a live one. It was wacky looking. I didn't really know what to expect, but it kind of looks like a weird kind of beach hot dog. Now, people, this is a family-friendly channel, so we're just gonna go with it. Looks like a really weird hot dog. So when those are alive, the base of it is usually kind of buried, and it is open up there, and they kind of filter feed. So that makes sense that where the animal is coming out is kind of that part of the shell. But I was just bowled over. Very, very cool. I love finding the live animals of the shells that I collect. So that is the first live angel wing I've ever seen. Very bizarre beach hot dog. We've seen the beach tacos, and I'm going to go with the beach hot dog. It is just crazy looking critter. Very cool. Awesome to see that live creature. All right, angel wing, we'll put you back. See what else low tide is going to bring us. Well, I think that's appropriate, isn't it now? It's letting us find an angel wing. And it even has its little scoop. Fantastic. So, angel wing kind of moment here. Works for me. Oh, yay! Okay, so let's go back to the fighting conch and the crown conch. So the crown conchs are going to have spikes. They're not going to have like little bumps. They're going to be spiky. They're typically purple brown. Sometimes they're a little more faded, but that is another crown conch. And that is a chestnut turban. Terrific little shell. That's in great shape. It's always nice when you kind of find a variety. So that is a chestnut turban. Oh, and that is a grody piece of garbage. So I'm going to wash that out. We're going to see at the end just how much garbage we pick up. Sun is going down for a change. Normally it's coming up when we're out, but couldn't resist the low tide. Here we have a lightning whelk. They get their name from the little marks on the shell. Somebody thought it looked like lightning. And another critter. Woohoo! Okay, so this is a live sand dollar, and in the center of that is its mouth with that Aristotle's lantern like we had talked about. But since it is alive, we're just going to leave it here, and there were a bunch of other live ones. There's one there. But here is one we can keep. So that would be collectible. It does have a hole, and look at all the sand packed in there. Yep. Pretty sand dollar. Yay! Ooh, good night for crown conch. So that is another one. It's got some nice color. Spikes are okay. I love a good aggressively spiked crown conch, but those are fine. I'm certainly not going to complain. Now, the sunsets down here are kind of like events. People will pour into the beaches at night to see the sunset. So that's always kind of fun. And we are going to watch the sunset. Not quite there yet. A few more things to say hi to. Okay, so this is a lettered olive. Check out its siphon. So it's just kind of like it's like a little periscope. So I thought this was really interesting. I'm going to speed this up. It kind of scooches along a little bit. Not that exciting. It is a snail. It takes a little while, but check this out. Out comes that siphon again. So it was kind of creepy and kind of cool all at the same time. Isn't that siphon just kind of looking around? So that is a live littered olive making its way about the beach. It's waiting for the water to come back in. Don't worry, fella. Tide'll be in momentarily. See, you can see the people kind of coming out to see the sunset, and I don't blame them. An unobstructed sunset is kind of pretty. So there's people out with their cameras and waiting for the sun to go down. Oh, so pretty. So normally I give you your beach time much earlier in the video, and normally it is not a sunset. And I just wanted to remind you, if you do happen to watch a sunset, check behind you, because sometimes it can be an absolutely gorgeous show. So tonight our beach time is going to be watching that sun go down. Enjoy. Now, it does get dark pretty quick, so I am in a little bit of a hurry to get off the beach, but before I left, I wanted to say hi to this baby ear. I know it's here somewhere. I'm just kind of poking around, and it's funny. I guess this is the third one I've seen, this live. So that is a baby ear, that little squishy thing right there. I'm going to rinse it off so we can kind of see. So there it is. So that yellowish thing in the middle, that is the actual shell. This animal will not be able to get itself all the way back in its shell. The animal will always be a little bit bigger. And I'm trying to figure out which is the front and which is the back. I guess I chose wisely. There's the front. Oh, that's kind of weird, but so cool. And then the way that the animal is moving, that's kind of undulating, it reminded me of the lettered olive. And I'm showing you just because I thought the movements of the animal were so similar. Kind of has that like thin piece of it, and it just looks very alien-like, especially since there's no eyes or mouth, or, well, we can't see it. It is there. It's kind of buried within the other white flaps of this gooey looking critter. Oh, it's waving. Look. Hey. Yep, so that is a live baby ear. Really wild. It is incredible the way that some of these animals look compared to the shells. I don't know what I would think that the animal would look like, but if I were to make it up, it would not look like this. I always find it so fascinating to see the animal, especially once I've seen the shells all over the place, but to actually find the animal is really, really cool. So I'm probably digging a hole with my foot at this point, and we're just going to kind of tuck in this little critter. I'm not going to leave it exposed. Go ahead, little fella. And just kind of tuck it in with some sand very gently. They typically are cruising around underneath the sand anyway, so I'm just going to kind of help it out. I'm sure it'll continue on its hunt for coquinas. They like eating coquinas. Good luck, friend. What a fun day. So, yep, it was a fantastic time at the beach. One last pelican. I thought that might be a cormorant, but that is a pelican, just stretching its wings out. So super fun day. Holy cow. So some of the junk we took off the beach ended up weighing about 0.31 pounds. So 0.31 pounds for the 2 days of walking and almost 5 pounds total I've been able to remove from the beach. And I also removed a couple of other things. That live angel wing, so cool. A bunch of those angel wings, the false angel wing, the true angel wings, the fallen angel wings. We did get some of those Venus, crossbarred Venus. The prickly cockles, we got some tinies. That was last week. We have some top snails, some button snails, the rose petal talons, kitten paws, calico clams, the pear whelks, the lettered olives, the crown conchs, a couple of those cones, which were really cool, a couple of murex and apple murex, only 2 lightning whelks. Again, those Florida fighting conchs, and we're going to look at one cleaned up. And then I had a lot of favorites today. The animals were my favorite, but some of the things I was able to bring home, which were cool, are like the alphabet cones, the banded tulips, the true tulips, the limpet. Oh, so many fun things. So I told you this kind of rather slimy looking shell, and to me, it's like magic. You just leave it in bleach and ta-da, that's it. Now you probably could also put mineral oil if you didn't like those white marks kind of on the front of the shell. Oh, it's so shiny on the inside. So pretty. So I would never put anything shiny in acid. That was only going to go in bleach. And then this true tulip, well, really wasn't in terrible shape to begin with. But I figured a little bit of bleach first and then a dip in acid. And then it looks kind of like that. Now, I was thinking it looked kind of matte. I'd like to give it just a little bit of shine. I didn't want to use mineral oil, so I used something called Renaissance wax, and it was great because it gave it a little bit of that shine and it wasn't sticky and gooey. So at some point in the future, when I'm doing another cleaning video and all my other tips and tricks that I've amassed, I'll be sure to share that. Next week, yep, this is what we're going to see. We're going to Key Wading, and it's going to be awesome. So guys, thank you. Patreons, thank you so very much for supporting me. I thank everyone for your support. I so appreciate you watching my little adventures, leaving your comments, just coming along with me. Thank you. You already know where we're going next week. So you have yourself a great time until then, and I will see you next Sunday.